standpoint, kind of similar question about kind of what you're looking for in the openers. How do you approach it mentally? What do you expect of yourselves? How much kind of grace do you give yourself in terms of, where you set the bar first meet versus where you want to be, weeks and months down the road?
Yeah, I think with the opener, there's a little bit of grace, definitely. Like, obviously, we are chasing perfection as always, but there's definitely a little bit of grace for, hiccups here and there that kind of come with your first time really being out in front of a crowd again. But for this meet, I really think the big focus is really our dynamic as a team on that side map, because that really is going to determine how you perform. I think it's really just getting to understand each other, what we need, how we perform, kind of like what motivates us in those moments. And I think that's going to be a huge teller for this first meet.
You and Bethany are both, senior members of this team. What do you see kind of your leadership role as here?
I mean, it's been really great kind of developing into this role. Like, we've had really strong leaders over the past few years that have definitely paved the way of what we want to see the leadership on this team look like. I think that this team is the most united team that we've had in a while. I would say that for the most part, like, not even for the most part, in general, everybody is very much on the same page and really has that drive that is going to take us far in this season. So I think we're doing well in terms of leadership, hopefully.
Can you shed a little bit more light for folks on the importance of that dynamic that you referred to kind of on the sidelines essentially, and why that's so important and how that can pay off kind of on the mat?
Yeah, I mean, this sport that there's only a few heats in acro, which is really only solo tumbling, that is completely individual. This entire sport is developed on that team dynamic. And so being able to understand each other and being able to calm each other down or hype each other up is like really big in terms of being able to go out there and execute to the best of our abilities.
You got any Morgan State thoughts? I don't know if you watched their film, but what are you seeing from this new program, like Coach said?
I am so excited to go against them, honestly. Watching their first they've only had one meet so far, but watching their first meet, they have energy, and that is something that is super contagious from both competitors. I think that we could only hope going into this meet that they're going to bring that energy. We can even feed off it, contribute to it, and I think it's going to be a really fun time seeing what they have to showcase. They've improved immensely from last year, and it's really awesome to see that, especially in programs that have historically been a little bit smaller than something like Oregon. And so I'm excited to see what they bring.
Again, from kind of an educational point of view, when you watch another team compete, I mean, you don't need to scout them the way another sport might, where you're kind of on the field, so to speak, at the same time. So what are you watching for? How much do you really worry much about what they're doing versus just kind of taking it in?
I mean, I definitely think that at the end of the day, it's really us versus us. That's what's really unique about this sport is at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what your competitors do. It matters what you go out and do on that floor. But that's not to say that we don't have fun watching other people, of course. I think that we obviously look for all the technical things, but also just seeing what the skills that different teams have been working on, what they've been developing. It's really cool to see as the sport grows what kind of like diversity there is in certain skills now. So I think that it's always cool to see what people bring to the table.
You guys brought a new assistant coach this year, JC. I've heard lots of great things about her, but what's she like? What does she bring to this program?
I think Coach JC has been a great asset to this program. In my case particular, just speaking from experience, she's really helped me with tosses. She is a very decorated athlete from APU. And so it's really nice to have kind of like an outside perspective, someone that isn't exactly Oregon grown and trained, kind of coming in, bringing different tips and tricks. And I think culturally she blends really well into our program.